All he needed was for the 97s to give him a chance. Those boys knew how to roll. Wasn't a member of the 97s who didn't walk proudly down any street on their turf. Wasn't a person who didn't step aside when a 97 wanted to pass. He made himself available to them, giving any 97 who took the time a chance to get to know the kind of skills he had to offer. All he needed was one good turn of luck, and they'd give him a shot. But that was someday. Today he needed to eat. He raised his head when the stench threatened to overwhelm him, caught his breath, watching the neighborhood go about its day. The old man shuffling to the park passed right on by without so much as a care for another teenaged black boy scrounging for his meal. He didn't mind. Let 'em play their checkers or sit around laughing about whatever good old days they lied about living. Same with the moms. Let the old ladies get on the buses and head on out to clean white people's houses on the fancy side of town. He even let the bad kiddies pass on by. Another day he might have spent some time stealing a look at their tight clothes and their sashaying walks. But not this day. Yesterday all he'd gotten to eat was a nuked-out bean burrito. Today was all about getting enough for a chicken sandwich, side of fries if he was lucky. Something caught his eye, crossing the street in front of him. What the hell was that doing on this block? Didn't that thing know any better? Dumbass Pico didn't have the sense God gave a goose, walking in broad daylight this close to 97 turf. He stopped digging and watched the thing strut his way like it didn't have a care for anything. Then came the sound everybody in this part of town knew meant it was best to duck or run. He decided to dive, pulling the lid closed over him. The stink didn't bother him at all this time. He was happy to have the rolled steel of the dumpster standing between him and what was going down out on the street. He peered out the crack just under the lid. The first shot brought the Pico down. He watched, ignoring the screams of two Beckys across the street. A second shot stopped the Pico's arms and legs from twitching. He heard the squeal of tires, but couldn't see any car speeding away. He stayed in the dumpster until he was sure the shooting was over. A voice deep inside him screamed that it was time to act. His big chance had been delivered to him, less than 15 feet away. He threw the dumpster lid open, jumped out, and ran to what could be his ticket to the show. He knelt beside the dead thing on the sidewalk. No tag. He looked around the concrete where the thing lay all bloody and dead. No tag there either. It might be a long shot, but what the hell? At least it was a shot. He pulled a switchblade from his pocket. 3 slices later, he had what he needed. Then he stood. Then he ran. He was 6 blocks away, sitting on a bench in front of a tattoo parlor, when he heard the sirens headed south toward that stinking restaurant. He wasn't hungry anymore. He'd never be hungry again. Chapter 2. Virgin Gorda, British Virgin Islands.
Are we going to have that cake for dessert tonight?
The 7-year-old bent over, shook her head, and rained salt water over the tiled entryway. Her aunt closed the door behind them and laughed.
That would make how many pieces for you? Let's see. We got here 2 days ago. I seem to recall you had your first piece within the hour. Then it was another before bedtime. And yesterday at lunch, Hadley reminded her. That's right. And another at dinner. You do know Cook can make many different kinds of desserts. Why not try something else? Because that's what I want.
The little girl wrapped her beach towel around her waist and started an improvised choreography of raucous hip and hand movement.
Why should I try something different when I already know what I like?
Allie Grant looked out at the turquoise sea shimmering beyond the white limestone terrace of her rented villa. Allie had visited any number of beautiful destinations around.